Okay, so this series is all about module development. And before I go ahead and show you how to build one of these add-ons, I want to talk about what a module is and kind of show you the basic anatomy of a module and what they look like. So modules are the largest add-on type in Pyro. They are responsible for displaying the control panel. They're responsible for scaffolding the database and creating models and creating really what the main business logic in your application and what Pyro um, is. They're all wrapped up into modules for the most part. They can do a lot of cool stuff. So to get started, let's take a look at some of the core modules and what those look like. And if you open up the core directory and the anomaly vendor folder, and in this case we're going to take a look at the users module. And most modules you'll see these four common directories. You're going to see migrations, you're going to see resources, the source folder, and a composer.json file. The composer.json file is pretty much just like any other composer file. It's going to have your basic information. It's going to auto load the source directory in our case, and in add-ons specifically we're going to have this type here, and this is what keeps this package out of the vendor directory and in the core directory when we install Pyro with Composer. You're also going to find a migrations folder generally. You might not, but most modules use migrations to scaffold out the database. You're going to have a resources directory, and this is where, among other things, your configuration, language files, and views are going to be housed. And one thing to note, while these are all loaded into Laravel config, Laravel language, and Laravel view systems, they are prefixed by the add-ons .namespace. So if you're looking for a configuration file here, for example, like settings or something, you're going to use anomaly.module.users, and then a double colon, and then settings whatever the key is of the configuration you're looking for. Same thing goes for languages and views. Next, you'll find a source folder, and this is where you'll find your, there's always going to be like an HTTP directory, and that's where the controllers and the middleware all are. You'll find admin controllers usually in an admin directory, and then public underneath of that. Middleware is all of the middleware that comes shipped with the add-on. And then generally you'll see a namespace directory for each stream that's within the module. So in this case we have a roles stream and we have a users stream, and all of the business logic and the models and the collections and the presenters and whatnot for those stream entries are here. And then you'll also see the actual module class, and every module, every add-on in fact, has an add-on class. The module classes are what is responsible for specifying the control panel for the module. This particular add-on comes shipped with its own plugin because it's got some sort of unique, if we take a look at it here, it's probably got a few unique functions that it wants to add to our view layer. And so instead of shipping with a user's plugin and then also a user's module, you can just put the plugin in the module and ship it that way. The seeder is pretty much the same as a normal Laravel seeder. It just populates your database with information. And then you have the service provider, and this does a lot of different stuff, just like Laravel service providers. They can do, this is responsible for registering and booting up this particular add-on. It can register bindings and singletons and aliases. It can register routes. It can register commands and schedules. It registers the actual plugin that's included in this add-on. It can do a lot of different stuff. So this is kind of what your basics of a module will look like. And if we go back into the vendor directory and we just do a scan for a module and take a look at some of these other ones, the settings module still has migrations, we still have resources, and we still have a source folder and a composer.json file. This one also comes with its own seeder, service provider, plugin, and then of course the settings module class. We have a settings stream, and all that good stuff is in here. And then we have the controllers, and this one only comes with admin stuff, it looks like. If we keep looking, redirects is going to be the same way, posts will be the same way, migrations, resources, source. We've got our controllers, we've got our categories, posts, tags. Actually, this one, yeah, this is just for some services. We don't actually have a tags stream in this case. I just separate some of the command specific tags in this namespace. So we do have a types stream, all that good stuff is in there. Some add-ons do not have migrations because they don't use the database. A good example of this would be the installer module. We've only got resources and the source directory. And there's no streams in this case, so what you see here is just classes and services that the add-on uses to do its job. So now that you've seen the basic anatomy of a module, it might be a little bit easier when we go to actually build one of these bad boys to kind of understand where things go and how things work. And that's what we'll do next. We'll actually build an add-on.